Hello, everyone, and welcome to Painless Universal, a conversation with myself and Welsh. Today, I'll be talking to an award-winning entrepreneur, actress, TV presenter, you name it. She's many, many things. She wears so many different hats. But what keeps me inspired about her is how she keeps herself grounded. So I'll be talking to Dantee Amoateng, MBE. She's an award-winning British Ghanaian entrepreneur, actress, TV presenter, singer, producer, and manager. She was awarded an MBA by Her Majesty the Queen Elizabeth II in 2016 for her birthday honor. A year later, in 2017, she received the Ghana Peace Award, humanitarian service for her humanitarian work in Accra, Ghana. She appeared as a British actress on the TV show which you all know, Eastenders and Hobby City. She's an advocate for the Ghanaian community in the UK. In 2017, she was put on the list for the most outstanding woman entrepreneur in Ghana. Then in 2009, we're going back again, she founded her GUBA, which is a Ghanaian UK-based achievement award, which recognizes achievement of individual organizations who positively contribute to the Ghanaian community in the UK and out there in Ghana. In June 2013, she was announced the winner of the annual African Women in Europe Award. Wow. Guys, the list goes on. I just had to stop there because I always think it's always best when it comes from her. Meet Dantee.
I mean, when you look at America, there's so many Ghanaians and it's spread out. There's Ghanaians everywhere, as you know. But we felt that it would be a good opportunity to also reward some of them. I mean, you have Ghanaians that are in NASA. You have Ghanaians that are doing Facebook and, like proper, high level when it comes to some of the professions and some of the things that they do. And so we thought that it would be good to step into the American market and, recognize them and let everybody know that these people are also inspiring us and doing very well.
Welcome everyone to Painless Universal, conversation with myself and Welsh. Could you just tell us a little bit about yourself? Who are you?
Okay, so Dantee is a mother of four. I started out as a pediatric nurse. I'm still a pediatric nurse. I still practice. I do agency. So I've stopped like full-time work, but I do agency just to keep my pin. I was born in Ghana, raised in the UK, came here when I was 5. My passion at the time was singing, dancing, acting. And I remember my dad and my dad was like, nah, not in this house. He's either doctor, nurse, lawyer, you know what
the drill, the typical.
And he was like, what else do you like apart from, acting and all of that? Because at the time I was doing extra work for Eastenders, Hobby City. I got a part in Judge John Deed, and I didn't see anything else but acting. And he said to me, look, you can still do that, but have something that, will sustain you. What else do you like apart from acting and all of that? And I said, oh, I love kids. And he's like, okay, why don't you be a pediatric nurse? And I was like, okay. And I must thank my dad for that, because it was something really that I fell back on. It was something that, because the media at the time, when I was doing all of these things, wasn't paying that much.
Yeah.
But I found that, for me to be sustainable and for me to enjoy what I loved, I had the nursing to kind of, back me up when I fell short. And then I started my own TV show in 2006, the Dentist Show, which I still do. And then I started the Goober Awards in 2009. And that was basically seeing a lot of great people in our community doing so well, but there was no platform to kind of celebrate them. And my husband was like, yeah, let's do Gooba Awards. And I was like, Gooba Awards? And it's like, yeah, Ghana UK-based Achievement Awards. And that's how Gooba started. But obviously now we're called Grow, Unite, Build Africa. We're becoming more inclusive. We're celebrating our African brothers and sisters. And it was really important for us last year when we launched, it was our 10th year anniversary, for us to really look at coming together as one. I think, yes, all of us like to be from Nigeria, Ghana, whatever, but we are inevitably, we are Africans.
Yeah.
And so I think that, it was a way for us to expand the brand and and grow and unite and build Africa.
That's amazing you say that, because I'm from Nigeria myself. And when I saw the Ghanaian thing, I was like, why is my sister not picking up on Nigeria as well? We got some very exciting people from Ghana. So hearing you say that,
no, I think it's important because, look, first of all, we don't do enough to celebrate each other. Okay, I feel like Africans are very reserved in terms of the achievements that they have done. You find that, I've researched a lot of people and I'm blown away by what they're doing, but some of them just don't want to be out there. They don't want to be, awarded. And I'm like, for me, the reason why it's important to celebrate is the fact that, look, we are encouraging the young ones. We are letting them know that somebody from this African country has made it in Africa or in the UK or whatever. They have broken boundaries. And so you can do it too. We need people like us to be able to sell Africa, to sell ourselves. And if they're not coming out for us to appreciate them and put them on the pedestal, I think that's when, we are in danger of not celebrating and not letting our young ones know the impactful things that Africans are doing around the globe.
I really can't agree more, because there's so much going on. There's so much negative press right now with Africa and the rest of the world, and especially being Black as well. And I think when you start hearing inspirational story, that inspires you to keep going and motivates you, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. It motivates you, encourages you when you're down and you just read somebody's story, somebody's tweet, somebody's, positive message. It just lifts you up. Knowing that, and even this COVID times, knowing that, look, people are picking themselves up and trying to do new innovative things and not letting this COVID just, get to them. A lot of people have been separated from their families, and a lot of people have been, lost their jobs.
Yeah.
And so how do you, be creative at this time? How do you get out of your shell? For me, I was saying that, I had another interview and I was saying that, look, mental health is going to go up because this thing has come by a shock, by a surprise. A lot of people are not prepared. None of us were prepared. Nobody knew. And so, there's a lot of things that people are going to be going through mentally that actually we need to be having conversations. That's why I did, during this COVID time, I started doing a lot of webinars, a lot of different topics, different conversations, so we can engage people. We did mental health. We did so many things just to engage people and get them to think that they're not alone. There's other people going through the same thing.
Yeah.
And this could be a solution. So.
No, I agree. And I really applaud you for what you're doing. And please keep doing it, because things like this is what gets people motivated. And for me, COVID for us with sickle cell, it didn't take us by surprise because we've always seen challenges. This was like another thing. We're always hit in the back. Every time we try to go forward, something hits us in the back. So for me, I was able to help others who haven't been hit in the back before to say, look, you can recover from it, but you just need to have a positive mindset and see the light at the end of the tunnel. Believe there is a light. Don't just see the negative. But, in all fairness to you, you've achieved so much a lot, in your, really, when people think about you, you're not that old and you've achieved so much. Let's go to your pediatrician days when you were a nurse. How was it being a nurse in the UK? Did you find, did you
Oh,
struggle doing it, or was it, did you learn
oh,
anything about being a nurse during those days?
oh, I love nursing. And for me, for you to be a nurse, you have to have compassion and you have to love your job. Because even though I chose pediatric nursing is actually very emotional. And sometimes you see really sick kids. You're dealing with the kids and you're dealing with family members. Okay, so you're dealing with the stress of a mother, okay, or a father or grandfather or grandmother. So you're dealing with family members as well as the child who's sick. And so for me, nursing has shaped me as a person. It's one of the fundamental things I'll say about me is I've become very patient, very compassionate about things. I absolutely love nursing, and like I said, I still nurse. So even this pandemic, I went out to work to help out. Because I just felt like, I shouldn't be at home. This thing is happening, even though I was worried, oh my God, I'm also going to put my family at risk. But at the same time, I was like, look, there's loads of people out there that need help. And so nursing for me, when I started out, so I'm dyslexic. So went to uni. I didn't know I was dyslexic at the time. So obviously throughout my childhood, I was having problems, but I didn't know. And I remember I was doing my maths test for my nursing degree, and they said, like, I went to do the maths, and like, are you dyslexic? Like, I was doing essays, and like, I was like, no, what's dyslexic? What's that? I did a test, and I was very high on the end, and they gave me like a laptop, which basically reads out what you type, because sometimes you'd be writing, the day was good, and maybe you leave the day. There's been so many instances where I've put in my date of birth is 1983, where I put 1963. You just turn around the numbers, all of that kind of stuff. And my maths test, I kept on failing. The last one I had to do, they were like, look, Dento, if you don't, pass this one, you can't do your nursing, basically.
You being a nursing, how did you get the passion to go into nursing?
Okay, so nursing, as I said, my dad was the one that kind of said, look, why don't you try nursing? And I must say, I thank him so much for that. I enjoy nursing till now. So I started, I qualified in 2004 as a nurse. And I worked on a speciality for children with gastro problems. So Crohn's disease, inflammatory bowel disease, etc. And then I went on to a burns unit, and then general ward, oncology. I've done anorexia, adolescents with anorexia. I've done a range of different things, which has shaped me as a person.
Young girls looking up to you now will be wondering, she was a nurse and also doing roles in Eastenders and Holby City. How did you go about in getting those roles in Eastenders while practicing as a nurse?
I managed the two. What I did was, so with the nursing, you could do like 3 days a week, 12-hour shifts, 12 and a half hour shifts. So I would do that, and I'll have 4 days off. Or sometimes you do 4 days and have 3 days off. So I would manage my time. So I joined a lot of agencies, and one of them was Ray Knight at the time, who got me the roles. But in everything you can manage, as long as you plan. A lot of times people are not planning. And I think that, it's really important for you to plan. I knew my passion was with acting, and I knew that I love my nursing, so I juggled the two. But yeah, I love doing both of them.
And you were based in UK doing this. When did the love for Africa come back to you? I know you were born in Ghana, but obviously you moved here when you were 5. So when did you get that love again for giving back to Africa?
I've always had a passion for Ghana because my parents were people who at home, you speak Chi, you eat Ghana food, you watch Ghana movies, everything Ghana, literally. So at home, I'm very fluent in Chi. And so Ghana was always inside of me. And they would take me back. I remember they would take me back nearly every year for holidays in Ghana. And so I had a connection. There. And sometimes, actually, the other day I was looking at some of my old pictures and I found that I was always wearing either a Ghanaian bracelet or African print. My parents were very much like that. And that's what I do with my kids as well.
Yeah.
And so I think that Africa was always inside of me. And I realized that more when, we started the Google Awards and started doing what we were doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've always had a passion for the continent.
And the Google Awards, what have been your most interesting highlight from that? Because that is really a platform that really inspires entrepreneurs, business leaders in Ghana and in UK who are doing exceptionally well within their community. So what led that? Well, I know you said your husband and yourself talked about it, but what really led that? Because I mean, the challenges of starting something like that must be enormous. How did you guys decide that, okay, this is seriously what we want to do?
Yeah, at first it was just a conversation, and then it was up to us to execute it. And thinking back, it was hard to raise sponsorship. We sold our first car. We sold our car to be able to do the first awards. And that's why I talk about, sacrifices and being persistent. How much do you want it as an entrepreneur? How much are you yourself willing to invest in what you're doing to make it work? Even when you read the Bible, you see that there was a lot of people that had to make sacrifices for them to be blessed or for them to get a blessing or whatever. And so we sacrificed in terms of, at the time I had one child, he was one, and you're starting this Google Awards and you don't have a car. Like, I remember one time finished shopping in Tesco's and going home and the bus wasn't coming and the rain is pouring and I'm like, I've just sold my car, like, and I'm holding my son, I'm just like, what have I done? But when I look back now, I would have done the same thing. Yeah. It was a good sacrifice that I did. And Google wouldn't be where it is now if I hadn't made those sacrifices.
Yeah.
And you something has to let go. You have to do something out of the ordinary. Are you willing to do that as an entrepreneur? And that's something that I had to do. We had to face at the start of Google.
No, that's I read everything you guys have done. Who have been some of the exciting people you've giving your awards to?
I remember we rewarded a 6-year-old girl that had written 2 books. And that was, on Amazon and all over, like, it was just everywhere. And that really inspired me that, the parents were encouraging their child at such a young age. You see that in other communities, that, they'll start their children very, very young in tennis or in football. And they keep at it, no matter whether it's snowing, whether it's raining, they will take their child. But sometimes in our culture, it's snowing, we're all staying home. But these people would do that for their child. And the child will understand that, you have to be consistent, whether through rain, through snow, through thunder, you still have to go and do your work. And so, I think it's important that we instill those things in our children as well. And I mean, Google has been a really, really amazing journey. We have, we've awarded entrepreneurs, we've awarded, I must say this. So when we did our first, maybe the second Google Awards, we invited Dantee Amoateng. And I remember they said, she'll love to come, she'll be there. She'll present her award and, she'll have to leave. I was like, no problem at all. And then at the end of the awards, I saw Dantee Amoateng. And I was like, Diane, you're still here? She goes, yeah, I love it. I was so inspired. And it was extraordinary. And the same with, like, I remember we had Sherry Blair come to the awards again. You know, they were like, you know, just, you know, one award, do her award. And they come, they're so inspired, they're glued to their seat, you know. And one thing I believe in is actually executing with excellence. I think, you know, we must make sure as a community that we're doing things right and properly. We invest a lot of money into the awards. I believe that, you know, we have to set our standards. And so when some of these people are invited, they end up staying the whole time, because they're just like, they're blown away by the production quality, and by the people that they're surrounded with. We've awarded amazing, inspiring people throughout the years. I've been blown away. I've learned a lot from some of the winners, you know, so many humanitarians doing amazing things. Just, it's been greatness.
That's good. Honestly, I'm really glad you started this, because I see so many amazing people, and like you said, they don't really talk about what they do, and you're asking yourself, you keep questioning. The young people need to learn from you, so please just feel free. Don't be ashamed of your story. Your story is what inspires others, so you keep doing that. I'll go on to 2016. 2016, you got the Queen's Honors Award on her birthday. Yeah. And how did that feel the day they told you that you have been nominated and you'll definitely be receiving an award?
To be honest with you, I thought it was the wrong address. I thought they were written to the wrong person. Because, you know, and again, I keep saying this, we don't know who's watching us.
That's true.
We don't know the impact that we're making on somebody's life or impacting on other people's lives. We just don't know. And so it's really important for us to do the right thing. I really felt that when I heard of OBEs, MBEs, SIRS and stuff, I felt like it was for older people. I always, you know, felt that somebody at that time, I had only done Google for like 5 years. So it's like, whoa, like, how did this happen, you know? But obviously we had made an impact in the community within those 5 years. And, you know, I think from the awards, the Goober Expo, Trade Expo, to the Goober Careers, to the Goober Foundation, you know, we were building the Goober enterprise. It was a beautiful feeling. Like I said, I was shocked. I was thinking it was the wrong person they had written to, until the day that I actually got my MBE on you know, in October in 2016. So it was an amazing feeling, absolutely. And, you know, going to Buckingham Palace for the first time, you hear about it, you know, you just stand in front of the gate, see the soldiers marching. But to enter was just amazing. And, you know, from that, I've managed to work with Prince Charles and, you know, organize his birthday celebration in Ghana 2 years ago, which was another amazing experience. Such a lovely man. So it's been a beautiful journey.
That's wonderful. You know, surprisingly, you didn't stop there. That was one platform that opened so many of different opportunities. But you went on to start receiving different awards. I know you received some before, but how did that blossom? How did your name just keep spreading like wildfire? Because I could list all your awards. In 2017, you know, you were put for the most outstanding entrepreneur woman in Ghana. Then in 2009, you started the GOV Award. Then in 2013, you announced the winner of the African Women in Europe Award. And I'm thinking, she is just this lady who is unstoppable. You know, that song, This Lady's on Fire. How does it feel to just be so recognized for what the good work you're doing?
You know what, it feels good, especially when it comes from the community and you're appreciated by the community. I think that means even more than anything. And the fact that, you know, people are realizing the hard work that you do put in the community to, you know, collectively
look at the diaspora, look at opportunities for the diaspora in Africa. You know, Guba is just not about celebrating, it's about the network that you meet there. How are you able to do business with some of these people? And it's just, for me, even last year, we had Danny Glover at the awards. We had Cheryl Lee Ralph, one of the biggest, you know, American actresses. It was just amazing. We had the ECOWAS president, the Ghana president, the UN general secretary. It was just incredible. And so I guess, you know, and I must say, all of these things happen because you have a good, solid team behind you. It's not just you, but when you have an incredible team that believe in your vision, you're not the only one that has to carry your vision. You have to have people that are able to execute for you, that you're able to delegate to, that you're able to trust to deliver. And I have an amazing team that have been able to support me throughout this years, to make Guba what it is and to make Dantee who she is as well.
Well, Dantee, moving on from all of the awards now, I was so blown away about the sports. You were into you were sports management.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, how does a girl get into sports? But not only take that on, but also lead the country in various, you know, you led Ghana in different aspects of when they were doing, I think, is it the World Cup they were playing?
Yeah, the World Cup. I was head of marketing for the World Cup.
Yes. How did you twingle these two things?
My other side is I love sport, and I have a lot of passion for football. So I had the opportunity to manage Asamoah Gyan, who was the captain for the Ghana Black Stars. And for me, it was more of getting endorsements for him, managing, you know, the adverts, commercials, etc., all of those kind of stuff. And then in 2014, the Ghana government, you know, called me to be the head of marketing for the World Cup, which was a huge honor. Even though I didn't get to go to Brazil, unfortunately, I was stuck behind where everybody else went, because I was still chasing money for people to put in the money, so I had to stay in Ghana. But I was in Ghana for a year, and I was the head of marketing. It was amazing. Obviously, they had seen the work that I did, and you know, the way that I'm able to raise funds, and I was appointed, you know, as head of marketing.
In all of these challenges, has it been hard to manage your kids now? Now you're an adult, your parents has brought you up with that upbringing of Africa. Has it been hard incorporating the same belief and background in your own children?
No, because they see mummy doing a lot in Africa. And so I teach them about Africa. Even so currently we're in Ghana, we're going to be doing a tour, me, myself and the kids, on like an adventure tour, you know, for them to see all the places in Africa. When I first brought them to Africa, they were like, this is not what they were taught in school. They didn't know that there were beautiful places like this. They just thought that it was, you know, the bad parts. And I said, look, there's bad parts in everywhere in the world. Every country that you go to, there is a bad part. And so I encourage them to wear African print, eat African food. I speak to them in our local dialect so they can understand it. And so these are some of the things. And I've given all my children Ghanaian names. They don't have any English names. So that and it's all part of tourism, it's all part of identity. Somebody will ask them, oh, Nokwari, where's your name from? That's a nice name. Oh, it's from Ghana. They're selling Ghana. And so I think these are some of the things that I'm instilling in my children.
And you've also done this with your show as well, which I saw a preview of. It's very inspirational, very empowering, educational. What has been some of your highlights from your recent show, which you just started? Because you know, anyone watching that will see a lot about Ghana, and it really, you know, you know about the Ghanaians, you know, especially the real estate. That was really, really. I'm like, wow, it's real estate like that in Ghana. So thank you so much for doing that. But what has inspired you and what has been some of the highlight from doing that show?
Yeah, I think what happened with COVID is that COVID just had to, let you think of what can you do whilst you're at home. And I started doing the live dentist shows, doing it live. I've done stuff on agriculture, how to invest in agriculture. I've done how to invest in housing. Even tomorrow we're doing on wills, the importance of having a will, having a life insurance. Conversations that, I remember a couple of years ago, I was like, Dad, have you done your will? And my dad was like, why, do you want me to die? And I was like, but Daddy, it's something that you have to do, like our parents don't really think about those things. And how important it is actually to do it at an early stage, because we don't know tomorrow. We didn't know about this COVID. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that have lost a loved one because no one was prepared. And so I'm sure they didn't have a will. And then you find a lot of family members arguing and wanting this one wants this property, and just cut that all out. Let us know where you actually want to be buried. Write it all down in your will, so it's easy for your children to be able to do it for you, because it becomes so many family disputes, and you hear of, family members taking children's properties away from them because they're the next, and so many things. And so I wanted to do topics that would educate people and empower people, and so, yeah, I've done vast range of different topics.
Keep it going.
I've even done, the African women, how society views them if they haven't had children, if they're single, all of those stuff. And I've done the men's version last week. So it was really important for me to have these conversations whilst on lockdown and get people to think. The other 2 weeks ago, I think we did stocks and shares. How important is it to do bonds and stocks and trading and all of that, so people can get thinking. If you have £100, start investing it, have multiple streams of income. And so, yeah, that's what I've been doing during this lockdown. So I do it Thursdays and Sundays and just have a real good conversation. I've seen that the numbers have grown since we started. We have about at least 10,000 viewers per show, and it becomes even more. Like even the property one, I think, is nearly at 50,000 viewers, because people are still watching it and taking notes. So it's been a really good time to do some live shows online.
Well, thanks for doing that, because I love when you talked about the will, because it's something, I always ask my mom, and she always divert that topic. It's almost like it's a bad thing to mention, Mom, do a will. Talk about it. I'm like, to me, I'm not saying you're dying. That's not what I mean. I'm just saying, I just need to know, what are your plans? If something does happen, what do I do? Do I leave you here in the UK? Do I take you back to all this little
I do. These little things, they matter so much. And you hear a lot of brothers and sisters not talking to each other, and let's cut that all out. Let's just prepare. Do it now. You can update it every 5 years,
Yeah.
You can update it even every year, whatever it is. You can speak to your lawyer, and you can keep updated. If things change, if Denta's not your friend anymore and you want your other son to pick things up, you can do that, So it's about us thinking ahead.
Yeah.
One thing that, when I was actually doing my nursing, there was this nurse, and she made me think about these things. She was like, look, she has invested in her kids. What she did was that she put money away all the time. And when the kids reached the age of college and university, she had money to pay for all of that, and also buy them all a first house. 2 kids, she bought a house for everyone. That puts a lot of pressure off your child when they're starting out in their journey, in their career. I'm not saying sometimes you don't have to let your children, go through all of those things, but I think that we have to put investments down for them. Again, life insurance. How many of us are doing life insurance and insuring our families? If something happens, we don't know tomorrow. What are you doing about that? And so I think these are the conversations I'm really excited about now when it comes to the show.
Oh, really, this is really amazing. I watched some of them, and I also really emphasize a lot about Ghana as well, reaching out,
Hmm.
showing the continent on a beautiful, beautiful landscape of the country, which
Yeah.
we don't really get to see unless we watch movies. Which I'm so delighted you did that. Another thing I'm really fascinated about is not fascinated. I really want to know is the pandemic. Um, this coronavirus has had a massive hit on people's, business. You do events, for example. How have you been able to change the language of your events with the way things are done? Like you see in UK, for example, theaters are all shut down. They might
Yeah.
be open, but a lot of people are saying they're not even open for a while because they just don't have the resources to keep this going. How have you been able to retool your business to get it to a better place where you need it to be in light of everything going on?
Yeah, do you know what? It's been for us, we had to re-strategize. So we did a lot of things online. So we were doing a lot of webinars as well on our different chapters. We're also planning on doing the awards virtually.
Mm.
So we're hoping to do it in sometime in November where we'll have the awards. And it's just really continuing the legacy of Guba and being creative about it. What can you do? And it was really for us to engage with our audience, see things that they're also wanting us to discuss. So apart from then to show the brand doing stuff on my show, we had the Goober platform also doing webinars to engage people. So for instance, our foundation concentrates on autism. So we spoke about autism, having autism in lockdown, where parents are not able to have respite, having full-on children with autism on different spectrums, and having a doctor on, having this on. So we just try to engage with the community whilst the lockdown was happening. And again, we raised money through that as well. We did a cycling challenge. So what was the ways that we were going to raise money to help some of these people? So we did a cycling challenge where we raised money for families living with autism in Ghana. So it's just really just trying to think out the box. What can you do? What can you do? And we've been able to do things to really still impact the community.
A final question, because I mean, you have kids, and I don't want to keep you go whole day. It's really about balancing them, being a mother. You wear so many different hats, and you're doing them all sexually well. You pick, like the show, for example, you pick up great topics, which is something that anyone who watches the show will just find something that's meaningful, especially to them or to their family. And you do the business well. How do you, Genta, manager, what advice would you give to anyone looking up to you today and saying, look, I want to do something like what she's doing, or I have my own passion, I have a business, but I just don't have the drive. I don't know how to. How do you do it? How do you
Yeah,
wear many hats, and how do you do what you do?
I think for me, first of all, prayer works. Okay. Second of all, having a supportive team, family that you can rely on, and that can support you. I have an extremely supportive husband who believes in the vision, who pushes me and who drives me. And I make sure that I'm there for the kids at moments that they would remember. So in terms of, I travel a lot. Well, lockdown has made us, come together. But, when I was traveling a lot, I made sure that, I'm there for birthdays, Christmas plays, all of those essential things that they will remember. For me, I've been so lucky to have a supportive family that I'm able to say, look, I'm traveling here. Can you hold things down for me till I'm back? And like I said, you have to, in this industry and everything that we're doing in this world, we have to be very prayerful. We have to take our Christianity, or if you're a Muslim, whatever it is, whoever it is that you worship, you must make sure that, you praise God and you thank Him. And everything will fall into place. It might not be now. It might be later on. It might be 2 years' time, it might be 3 years' time. but be patient, stay in your lane, focus on what you are doing, what you're passionate about, and don't take a no for an answer. As long as you believe in it, you're praying about it, you're fasting about it, it will happen. It might, like I said, I never knew Google will be where it is now. I never knew I'll be in contact with all of these presidents. I never knew that. I didn't know what the journey was, but God had already planned it. It was just about me to follow the path, and make sure that I stick to the path. So I think it's really about how focused you are, and being humble. You know, be free, be open to people, and don't be afraid to get advice. Don't be afraid to have a mentor. I think one of these things I see a lot is I see a lot of young people on social media, and you're just like, what are they doing? And I think a lot of them are lost. A lot of them need mentorship. And so I mentor a lot of young girls, especially in my group, in the Google team. They've set up their own businesses. You know, you push them, you encourage them. Just because they're on your team doesn't mean you can't support them and let them do what they are, their destiny as well. So I think that those are kind of the things that I have done on my journey. I still feel like there's a lot more to do. I still have a lot to do. But I'm keeping at it, you know. There's been a lot of times where I wanted to give up. You will feel like that. Nobody says it's going to be easy. Nobody says you're going to be appreciated all the time. There will be some down times. There'll be times where you don't have enough money, where you're thinking, oh my God, I've just invested all my money in this thing, and you know, it hasn't come out the way it should. But you just keep going, you keep modifying, and you keep growing.
Thank you so much, Dita. I really appreciate your time, and I wish you all the best, and I look forward to meeting you when you're back here in London.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you.